Hey, Don here. Okay, well, it's the next day, next night, really. It's 8:57 p.m. It's almost 9. And I am finally back. I had other things to do and everything. But anyway, I'm going to do what I was talking about yesterday on Mom's PC. I'm going to take her good 650 watt power supply. If I can switch my camera, I thought I'd switch it. I've got it sitting up there on the bench ready to do it. I'm going to take her good 650 watt power supply out of there. And I guess it's right up in there. Boy, that's a heck of a delay. Okay, so it's in there. And I'm going to put it in the ASRock machine because I want to know. I want to know just for future reference, but I want to know if it's. I'm pretty sure it's the power supply going bad in that thing, but I also wondered if it's the dual core processor that I have in it is not in the supported list for that motherboard, but it's the right type, that's listed. It just doesn't have this listed model numbers that were given on their website. And I've kind of looked back and forth, I've seen some posts on forums, people saying, well, can I use this processor? And people will say, yeah, you can, as long as it's not too many watts or this or that. They're talking about 6 and 8 core processors, and which is what I'm leading to. If this thing runs perfectly and doesn't crash on her good power supply, then I'll know, number one, that the power supply is indeed, just about gone in that thing. And I'll know that I've got a good chance of, if I buy an 8-core processor, that it will run just fine in that board. And with this is 650 watt power supply. It's plenty. The board doesn't support it. It supports up to 95 watt processors. The motherboard itself, the ASRock motherboard, and that power supply would be plenty for that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's just been coming back to me. I've thought about it, and then I got so involved in everything else to do with her upgrades on her machine. I just thought, well, I just want to do it now. But but if I don't do it soon, well, right now I want to decide 100%. Do I want to upgrade the hardware or just stick with what I got? It runs okay with Fedora 27 as it is, but not great. And I sure would I'm worried about, like next year when Fedora 28 comes out. Well, I have to do this all again and go ahead and upgrade the hardware. or we end up buying another machine or whatever, And by then, a year from now, say, when the next version comes out, if it uses enough more resources to make the difference, they always just tweak up a little more each year, usually. As far as how much resources it takes to run the operating systems. And so, we're jumping from Fedora 14 to Fedora 27. That's a huge jump because I was meaning to upgrade that for years, but, all kinds of things got in the way of doing it. And I wasn't worried about her browsing security because I figured out how to. Made some videos even recently about how to do that. Don't run the installed version of Firefox and Thunderbird. We use Thunderbird for our email, so I like it. I like to do it that way. And so just run them in what I'd call it standalone mode. It's not installed. You just unzip it in your home directory to a folder. You can name it. I just leave, Firefox, Thunderbird, And but it does use the profiles that are already there. You need for it to work right. You need your installed versions to already be there, and then just unzip them, and then put your shortcuts on your desktop, on your toolbar, or panel they call it, and then just set it to auto update itself, and it'll do it all independently of whether Fedora is updating it or not. So that's the way I've got by with it without being, having it not work on web pages and having to be really, really insecure. So actually, Fedora 14 stopped updating. I don't remember when, but it's a little behind. Not really bad behind, but a little behind on Fedora 14 now. So that's what, I finally had to do something. Excuse me. So anyway, there's no way, the only way I could really tell if the machine would even run on 27 was to go ahead and put it on there. So I did, and I was kind of like, well, it runs surprisingly well, better than I thought compared to all the other dual cores. But this is an AMD dual core with 512 megabyte dedicated video card, and that's what I think mostly makes the biggest difference. And of course, the last few days I've been all on I had fan noise that was driving me crazy. I finally decided to figure that out. Thought it was a CPU fan, bought one, put it in, and as soon as I stood it up and ran it for 5 minutes, about within 3 to 5 minutes, it started making that same exact loud noise again. Finally, I got to looking at it again, and I had forgotten to check the fan on the NVIDIA video card. And it turns out that's what it was. And I know for sure because I took it out, took it apart, cleaned it, put it back in, and it quit making noise. But I went ahead and ordered a little package of 3 fans for $2.87, I think it was, on Amazon. It's just going to take forever to get here from China. But heck, they all come from somewhere like that. So somewhere overseas, so most of them from China. So I didn't see paying $5 to $10, plus dollars for same quality of stuff, for just to get it quicker. So, and maybe hopefully it'll won't make noise and it'll do okay until then. I do have another small fan I could mount on there, in kind of a different way if I had to. Well, I think I do. They're both not in fantastic shape either. I've got 2 of those little small fans that would be the right size. But I want to have another one that's might work. It's bigger. I just never realized it's a brand new one for a CPU. I could take it off of that. I have a brand new CPU. I've showed it a bunch of times. A brand new CPU cooler that for AMDs that actually wouldn't fit anything I had once I got it. I got it on a bargain and thought I was getting. They didn't have a picture of it. So anytime they don't have a picture of something, they got something to hide. But it was a bargain and I fell for it. $4.50 back then. You couldn't hardly touch a CPU cooler for, well, I don't remember. They're generally, I always remember them being $35 and up, basically. $25 on sale. But this one that I bought was $10, nine something, under $10. And I think it's fine, It's got a nice big heat sink, but I don't need, I put the old one back in there. You can see it, you can see the old one in there right behind the stripe on the door there. And it's fine. It's not making any noise. That's the other thing I did during these last few days. So I'm going to leave it in there because the other one is so big that it's actually touching the memory, and that worries me about. Well, you can't get the memory in and out of slot 1 with it in there. You have to take it out, and I don't like that. And I can put it. I bet it'll fit on the ASRock. It might touch the memory with DDR2 in it. With DDR3, if I remember about how it's laid out, there's 2 slots for DDR2 and 2 slots for DDR3, like that. And if I did upgrade it to DDR3, I'd probably have plenty of space, like 3/4 of an inch. So, oh, my laptop is over there playing. I keep forgetting. Keep forgetting to stop it. Once I'm getting going there. So, I've been out of it all day. I guess I just haven't felt good today. I can't think real good, and so I didn't rush. I had other things I needed to do, so I did them, and I didn't rush into doing this because it didn't feel good, and I didn't want to make a big mistake either, just like sticking my finger in the fan like I did the other night. But anyway, I'm gonna do that, and everything's just plug and play, So let's go ahead and let's get the cameras in the right place. Well, let's switch the mics. It's so much easier. I know it's not lazy. I'm sorry to say lazy. It's not lazy. Lazy. I can see exactly what I'm doing real easy by just going to the desktop and then switching off. I know it's a funny looking screen that you get there, but I think that's what I want right there. Yeah. Let's see. Well, let's don't go to that yet because I don't need the endoscope until I start doing something up close. So let's just go to cam 2. There we go. That'll probably be the best thing. Until I get to where I'm trying to show something up close, I forgot I'm not doing any small components. I'm doing the big old power supplies. So, yeah, we'll leave it like that. and should be on the. Let me hit the. As many mistakes as I make with everything I do, I'm really leery about messing up, so I'm gonna reload my preview and put my mic up over there. And I was talking to it even though it wasn't live, but of course the lapels doing, yeah, it's working. Okay, now I know I'm good. And I should be able to continue. It still bugs the heck out of me every time I look up at that laptop and see that negative. And that's at negative 48. And I thought I had it figured out when I did that whole thing. That's where I made a video of. I'm running the newest version of Firefox into Bane 8 because the Bane 8 doesn't. It's pretty far behind, like 45, 47 or something. And but I didn't fix that. It didn't fix that counter. I don't know. And I think it was working right when I first started using this laptop to monitor last week or so ago or whenever it was. I started using this. Dang it, I should have tried. Why didn't I try to grab that? Usually when I drop stuff, I jump and try to grab stuff because it's hard to get it. And I drop things so much that it's turned into my normal reflex. That for some reason I just stood there and looked at it. I think I see it, yeah. Good thing that's a good magnet on that screwdriver. I could have never reached that. Okay. Got to get it while I'm thinking of it or I won't even remember where it went. So we're going to put this here. And I'm thinking, I've done it before, but it can get pretty precarious. Instead of taking both of these power supplies all the way out, I might be able to leave them both in their respective machines and just, if the cables are long enough, I might be able to just stand them up side by side and plug these cables into the other one, but we'll see. Be nice if I could do that. I mean, it's only 4 screws on each one, but we'll see. And I don't even know if that power supply will fit in that ASRock. It's not near as big of a case. I think maybe it won't. What can I do how can I figure that out right quick? Okay, if I put this is light, but it's not weightless. Trying to figure out if I can set it somewhere where it won't fall. Let's see. Come here, I can set it like that. Yeah, that's better. I want to measure the back end of it and see if it seems a lot different size than the. Something like. Oh, there it is. There's the edge of it right there. Yeah, it looks like it's about 3 3/4 by 6 1/2 or something. Let's put this over here if it'll stay. Won't stay. I'd prefer not to. See if it'll stay there. I'm kind of worried about. Yeah, I think it'll be all right. I reinforced those drop leasts with good nuts and bolts. Let's see. 3 1/4. Forgot what I said. That's why I need it handy. Okay. Yeah, 3 1/2. So I can't see the whole thing. It probably is 3 1/2. Yeah, it goes all the way up to the top. So, why don't you measure it from there? Got the door open. Yeah, 3 1/2 by. Doesn't go all the way to the bottom. Oh, here we go. Measure. I was kept trying. I'm used to, well, that other one was closed. 6. 3 1/2 by 6. Yeah, they're still the same dimensions. So it'll fit in there. Let me get it down from here before I knock this off. Okay, so, it'll go in there, and that may be the way to do it. Because I'm going to run it for, well, I don't know. I'm going to probably have to run it at least an hour to see
if it's going to crash or not. But I don't really, the main reason I didn't want to do this is I didn't look forward to unhooking all this. And let's get the endoscope, I need it. Okay, I guess my first thought was correct, I do need it. I'll have to aim it at that little thing down there, and I'll use its light. Okay. Now, let me turn on the light. I don't know how much light I need. There, that's when I've got that main power for the, I don't think it's going to help. Well, if I put it in a bigger mode, I guess it would be better. I can't see down in there. I'm going to leave it like that because, oh, let's see. Is that big enough for me to see what I'm doing? Not sure. It's kind of hard to look over. Yeah, it's kind of too hard for me to look over my shoulder. Okay. Now, so I'm going to use the old magnifying glass. I don't think, yeah, let's leave the light on. Sorry to say, I don't think the light's really even doing me a lot of help, but yeah, there we go. See, that's always a tough thing to do, though, is get that to where you can see. It's not really making it. I can't really get my, now I can get my hand in there, but I can't squeeze the little tab. There. This one's not, I mean, it's got a good, pretty good tab on it, easy to do and everything. I had my shorts on because it was cold, turned cold last night and today, so I put on my long pants because I wanted the window open to have fresh air, but I didn't want my legs to be cold. Now I don't have a place to put my tools. Used to having that. Okay, so, and let's see. I think I'm going to have the pliers to squeeze this main connector here. It's, let's see. This one right here. Guess I'll get them. It's kind of tricky to get them to. I forgot how. Okay, pull the cable over out of the way. You don't want to. I mean, there's, you know, right there on any pair of pliers that can cut. You can use that to cut wire with. It's a pretty blunt wire cutter, but it'll do it. So you better be very careful with any pair of pliers when you're doing this right here. And of course, the needle nose have a built-in wire cutter that's not too bad, not half bad for cutting wire. Yeah, I cut one of these off on a different one time. That might have been how I did it. I can't remember. And had to put a wire nut on it to put it back together. I mean, I could have used those quick connect. Could solder it, you know, but anyway. I was not in the mood to fool with more crap, so I just did that, and I was ready to go again. But I got to take everything. Actually, if I don't have to take it out of there. No, once it comes on, you don't want it hooked up to any of this stuff. So, you got to take every single connector loose. Oh, looky there. What is this? I got something that I didn't remember I had hooked up. What's that for? There's no fan in the front. Get all these out of here so I can. This is cool. I mean, it's kind of, you know, this is the kind that's got the braided deal on it. Oh, I see. I put a wire twisty on there to keep these things from getting in the fans and everything. Let's take it off for now. Okay. Well, what I don't what's kind of got me puzzled is I don't remember. I'm gonna take them. I guess I'm gonna have to. They're like snakes. They just want to go back, go where they want to go every which way. They look like snakes. They look scary. They really look like snakes. You don't think so? If you look at that and you can't see the rest of it, looks like a snake to me. Alright, so this goes to the front panel. And that's the way the machine is made. And it's got a double. Well, that's hard to get apart. There, that's the way the box is set up. It's got, and then it has another adapter. I don't know why. Oh, I see. See, it's got this 5-volt coming out, and then it adapts again. Just where you can see it. So then there you go, and then it goes to 5-volt. Then you go on down to the whole, all 4 of them, and then you got another 5-volt coming out there, and they'll go to the front panel. So I guess it's part of the USB. I guess that's how it's. Oh, I guess it's how it sends power for charge only. Like when this one will do that. You can plug. I think it will. I think it will now after looking at that. My other one will. It will charge, if you plug in things that are just looking for a charge, it'll do that even when it's not running. That's what I'm trying to say. Even when it's not running, it'll do that. Mine will. Now this one, but normally, I've never seen that before on anything. That's not the usual way I've seen anything done. So, make sure I didn't knock anything loose that I don't want loose. And, but yeah, here's the old fan with the ugly hole in there, and that didn't even go to anything. That's what pisses me off. I thought that was where I could get to the bushing to take it apart or oil it or whatever, but no. You can bend this and aim it, but it doesn't always stay right where you want to put it real good either. Okay, so what do we got here? Oh, this one's just hanging out underneath there. Guess if I don't. Okay, now those are long, and if I were to stand them up next to each other, I guess I can only try. I won't know unless I try. So let's switch off that close-up camera. I don't know. I'm part of me saying I'll just take it out and put it in there. Part of me saying no, do that. It could be that it's too. I'll go ahead and try it because it just. Sometimes when you get the recurring thought that maybe you ought to, a lot of times that's what you ought to do. So even though you may not realize, you might not even remember that you told yourself to do that or whatever. Yeah. Okay, maybe that's just me, right? Okay. What I'm going to do then is stand it up. Now here's that snake of wire. Turn it around, because I know I've had them both on here before, side by side. And yeah, I'll leave them sticking out up there on top like that. Thing is I don't know if I'm going to have room to do it, what I'm thinking of doing. Let's get this one. I think I'm going to, well, it's got to be laid down. Now I'm thinking, well, I'm just wearing myself out lifting and toting my computers. If I take it out, that's just, I have to set it on the ground, I guess. Let's see. Oh, here we go. This one is the heavy one. Okay. I just don't want to have a disaster of a computer falling or something. That's the thing I don't want. Okay. Should have set the, yeah, that makes the table want to tilt. I don't have a big enough table, do I? Can't sit it on the end of the bed because it'll slide off of there. Yeah, that'll tilt enough for it to fall. Okay, we'll quit whining and lift and tote. Well, my back's actually been sore from all this because I'm not used to it. It's actually getting better, but I don't want to make it worse. Oh, this one's not. I was getting ready to take the screws out of the door. Don't have none in it. See, that one's really tight. You can just do that. Yeah, it's kind of funny. This is really a solid, well-made feeling case, but the darn motherboard and everything else was, and the power supply and the motherboard had bad caps. Okay, so here this one is. So I can see in this one better. Put that out. Because see, these are all going to go back the way I started, you know what I mean? They're not going to stay. Yeah. I used to just squeeze the heck out of these with my fingers and pull them off, but sometimes you, well, one thing is you think you got that depressed, that little clip, and you don't, and you're about to pull the connector off the motherboard. So you don't want to pull real hard, you want to kind of work it off. And also my fingers used to be tougher, and they could handle a little bit of sharpness, sharp plastic. This one doesn't want to release either, more so than the first one. Try to get where I can see it. Guess I could get my long screwdriver and see if I don't think squeezing it is getting it loose. I think I need to get something under it. There we go. Ow. Put this up here and show you what I'm talking about, I suppose. Wouldn't hurt. Did I turn that light out? Yeah. I didn't want to leave it over there on my bed with the light on. Okay, oh, I didn't switch. Yeah, it gets to be a pain swapping back and forth. Let's see what we got here. Okay. There's the target connector. And it seems pretty contrary, so I'm gonna make sure that's not holding on. It's not. Okay, now I'll try the pliers. I guess it's tighter than I'd expect it to be. Man, I don't remember it there. I guess it was, it had lifted a little on the right side and not on the left, I guess. I didn't realize it. Okay. That's loose, that's loose. Gotta get the, those sometimes are loose and sometimes they're really tight. And power on the DVD drive. We don't want, I mean, I probably could have just left that. I'm not planning on using it, but I already got it off now. So, now then. Yeah, it's got an IDE hard drive in it. Now, here's the infamous, or famous or infamous, whichever way it goes. ASRock motherboard. And I've showed it a while ago, but see, here's the, that's what I was thinking. The, are we showing, we're not showing the memory or anything. Okay, now here's some of the memory. See, those are the DDR2 slots, they're yellow. And see, they're over closer to the CPU cooler. Of course, this one's really small. And so it wouldn't, you know, it's not even near it. But I think there's a lot, there's more space, lots more space. probably 3/4 of an inch more space already. And then if I was to go with the 8-core processor, this is a dual core, then that's another Cooler Master. Where did oh, that one, oh, that came with the ASRock, yeah. I mean, it came with the eMachines, and the processor did, and the motherboard, of course, is what I had bought for Mom's PC, really. But anyway, these two empty slots will only take DDR3, and they are, let's see, is that upside down or right side up? I was going to see if I could, oops. Now here's the numbers, lights, making it where you can't see it. Still can't see it. They're upside down? Yep, upside down. Okay, try it one more time. Now, there it is. See, it's an ASRock N68C-GS FX. Shows you that all the memories it'll take. DDR2 1066, DDR3 1600, and supports 8-core CPUs, says that on there. But that's why I think it's so cool, because it'll go all the way from this dual core to the 8-core. And it won't, like I said, it doesn't have the most widespread. I'm going to have to put this down. I'll get back off of that view now. It doesn't have the most widespread support listed, but I think a lot of it's because it was kind of early in the 8-core development, and when it came out, the board came out, and that's also why I think some of the later ones will probably still work, you know. They're not listed because they weren't made yet, but they're still the same technology, and hopefully there's not so much difference that they won't work. And since I have this example of an unlisted CPU already in it, I'm going to go ahead and reload my preview again and make sure I'm still working and everything. Since I have this example to try out, I figure, well, if it works, then I'm probably good, especially since, and I'll go looking, once I get it up and running, hopefully it doesn't, if it doesn't crash right away or something, then I'll actually use it. I have this example to try out, and if it works, I'll use it to show you. Well, maybe I'll have to do remote desktop. I think it's all set up already though, to show you, and just do some more research and maybe show what I've already found about that sort of thing. And see if I can find the one that I'm thinking about buying. See if anybody has actually tried it, you know, on this motherboard. Now, it doesn't have to be standing up, except for it probably be, well, actually, if it's standing up facing me with the opening facing me, it'd be really loud. But I don't trust these things sitting on this leaf. Well, with one, with the heavier one, you know, sitting in the middle of the table, it'd be all right. But let's see, how can I do this? I think leaving this one laying down is kind of the only way to do it. Yeah, let me try that. There, that's got all the weight still on the main part of the table. And if this one, knocked over my fan, sitting kind of half on the actual table and half on the leaf, then I think it'll be all right. Okay. I think they'll reach just fine. They're so long. Only one that might not reach is this one. Yeah. It won't with them like that. Let's see. If that one was standing up, my original idea was to have them standing up, but I got to be able to see to plug it in is the thing. That's the only one that's not long enough. It's super plenty long enough. It's close, but not. Let's see if I turned it. Which way would be closer to it? That way, I think. Yeah, see if that does it. Get these snakes sorted out. Okay, I think it'll make it now. Maybe. Let's see. Well, nope, it's just so close, but no seagull or... Darn it. Yeah, spend more time trying to do this than I would have just taken those out. I know. That's why I originally didn't think I would try this. Last time I did this, and I actually did it, I went around and around getting it to happen. Now if I stand this up, yeah, then I risk that falling over. If I stand them up, then I can do it, but I can't see in there to do it. Maybe if I do this. No, it won't reach. All right, don't be silly. So, you know, it seemed like a good idea. I think I've tried every direction. Well, let's see. Yeah, that was always, that's always smarter to, you know, lift and tote 50 times instead of just taking 8 screws out. Yeah, I don't keep trying that. So what happens when you have one of those ideas that keep recurring and it's actually the bad idea? Well, better luck next time. I guess. Better luck next time. Alright. Take you little bad boys out. Oh, that one does not have a very big tip. The snakes are grabbing my mic cable on my lapel mic. See, I told you they were snakes. They're live. Okay, these are in odd places. I guess they're all like that. I guess I still think some power supplies, I guess not, because they wouldn't be so interchangeable, you know, if they were, but these are not, you know, same distance. One corner is off, it's not in the corner. So, I guess I'll put these screws all in this container. They all go to this machine. And the others, well, I'll get another container, I guess. I'll just use them to put this in that other machine. There it goes. That should be it. Okay. Yep, take something simple and make it complicated. That's always fun. Look at that thing, man. That's a cool power supply, I think. Look at that fan. Doesn't make noise, but doesn't. I'll have to get my endoscope to show the specs, I guess. I'll do that right now before I forget. Let's see. Put this back down on the floor. Okay. Yeah, I think we all want to see those specs. Let's see. I guess I'll have to just hold it. Okay, let me get it switched over to the endoscope. I'll just go to the endoscope. Oops. Okay, what do we got here? Gonna have to, is that upside down or right side up? It's right side up. Let's see, which way is the straight way? Whenever I turn the, alright. I wasn't wanting to adjust the endoscope in the thing because I thought it would be, it's way less trouble than what I was doing, that's for sure. Now I got to turn the cable so that it's fairly straight. Yeah. Okay, now the light's reflection is still a problem, isn't it? I can't read it. I can't sit on the preview or anything, so I'll just let you see it. So it hadn't given us any trouble. The original one we had, this is an Ultra. I believe that's the Tiger Direct brand, but it was quite a bit cheaper. And it had, I don't remember what the warranty was. I remember it was good. If it does go out and they don't, only thing is, will they honor it? But anyway, that's what it is. Switch cameras. Okay, so I'm going to put it in the ASRock. And it has a big old heavy power supply. That's why that machine weighs so much more. Okay, now this one. Let's see. I'll have to make sure it's tied into the wiring harness and everything. So let's get everything loose and out of there before It's nothing more aggravating than having it loose and flopping in the breeze and then find out that it's, on the screws and all, and then find out that it's still hanging to everything else in the case. It's all wrapped behind the SATA cable for the DVD. Doesn't have near as many cables. Okay, there it is. Yeah. Now, I've showed this in recent videos, the swollen caps, and the reason that I think that it is just about gone. Oh, that's itching like crazy. Okay. Well, I think I could just put these up here on my tray on my rack. Just a few screws, I usually do that. Anyway, let's see, where's my... Get my back scratcher and go after my itching part of my back is not stopping. There. Maybe that'll help. That one spot that's itching, half of it I could reach, and the other half is down, down below, right on your shoulder blade, where when you put your arms up like that to use that back scratcher, you can't get to it. But I think I got enough of it to make me stop making me have a fit. Okay, let's put this up here, I think. Okay. Yeah, so I'm not going to take it. I'm just setting it down over here. I'm not going to take it apart again. This definitely, I would call this overkill for this machine. Now, if it doesn't go in there, and I find out that I shouldn't have been trying to do that. Okay, yeah. So these things have those offsets. Screws, and that tells you which way it has to go in there. There we go. But it does fit. Fits like a glove. But I'm gonna have to put my... I think these screws are the same exact kind, so I'm just gonna try using them in here. I think it's gonna have to raise up some though before it will screw in. Why don't I do this, then I can adjust it without a lot of trouble. I can't see again. I can't see the screws. It actually looks like it should be in the right place. Get my flashlight. Oh, they are lined up. I'm trying to, it looked black, and I thought it wasn't lined up. No way. Looks like two of them are lined up and two of them aren't. Huh. Oh, okay. Well, I'll get those two that look lined up started, and then then work from there. Or maybe just one of them, this one here. And then get some of the other side started. Oops. Maybe I should use the other screws. Maybe they're not as identical. They don't feel right. I'm going to use these other screws that came out of it. These may be the more coarser thread. Those look they look more fine to me, but I can't see that good to tell. Yeah, that goes right in there. So yeah. They're not always all the same, these computer screws. Can't see a thing. I'm sure the endoscope could help, but it's just more setup. I got one, and lost one on the floor. I'll try to get it in a second here. As heavy as that is, I really do want all 4 screws in there. I don't want to strip any of them out. Oops, that don't seem like it's long enough. There we go. Drop, drop, drop. I got dropsy. Got the dropsy. Okay. Now, it doesn't need to be over tight, so I'm just going to use this little screwdriver. That other one's so easy to over tighten with and strip these things. There. Oh yeah, where's that lost screw at? I forget. There, I see it. Okay. All right, now it's in there. This table is really rocking and rolling here. Okay, let's make sure I didn't knock anything loose. Okay, that's where the main power goes. And there's lots of choices for cables. Of course, there's some that are like the 4-pin. There's a 6-pin for main motherboard power. You don't want that. There's a 6-pin. I guess some of those 6 pins are for certain video cards. There's another 6-pin. I'm not counting the regular ones. Okay, now there's an 8 and 4. Yeah, 8 and 4. That's what I was looking for. I believe. Let's see. Standard. Standard. Guess what I don't have? I don't have a MOAC. Or do I? No, this there is. They're just all being so black you can't see them. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, that's going to have to hang down below the fan, I think. Let's see. Might as well let you in on the act here. Now, where's my... Where I'm going is over there. So it's already down, I think. Yeah. But I can bend it, I think, pretty easily. Where are we? Right here. A little further. I don't know. See, sometimes it's not worth all the trouble. Oh, I can turn on that light. Yeah. Where's my finger at? Yeah, I should have just... Really needs to be about that close to aim, to focus. There. But it won't stay good because I've got so much cable out now. But I guess I can hold it with one hand, and it actually might help me to... Yeah, I can barely see the side with the latch on it, the right side of it. So that's one thing I wanted to know before I started trying to plug it in. They're made to where you can't plug them in wrong, but you know, if you know which direction you're heading, then you're going to have a lot easier time of it. Now, there we go. Make sure all that's good. Now, here's our main motherboard connector. It goes over here. Where is it? Right there. This board doesn't have a support under that corner. It doesn't have a standoff. There's no place to screw one in this case. So you gotta hold it up when you plug it in. And I started pushing it and I saw how bad it was flexing. Okay, it didn't even make a clicking noise, but it's all the way down. Yeah. Let's see, where is it? There it is. Okay, now. What's the other thing? Oh, the hard drive. I'll go ahead and shove this back up to more of a normal height for when it's sitting on a table or something. There. Yeah, okay, so I need a... Let's just go ahead and go back to the other shot now. That was the end of that. That was the crux of that matter. Okay, let's see. SATA, there's one. I don't know how many of them there are. There's two of them, I think. One of them actually has a floppy. I'll use the one without the floppy, because then maybe it won't be. And then I think I'll take that twisty and tie those others up, you know, where they'll be a little more out of the way. But this one is just too... I think it's going to be better if I do this. No, it'd be better if I do this. This one is two regular Molex connectors. There we go, that'll work. Go around that. You gotta pay attention to all the metal work and everything. You get and the door, not getting them in the door, and not getting them in the fan like that. And remember that you're going to be standing it up. At least this fan has got, you know, it's not, you really couldn't get a cable. This was a very small one. You wouldn't get it wedged between the blades and the... Now, where do you want to do this one? I don't know if I want to put it... Yeah, I'm going to put a twisty on it, but I'm going to do it like that. There. Put that twisty I had on it. And I can set it down there in the... away from the fan. Okay. Now I can just put the door in and it won't be as loud. So that was turned out to be probably the thing I should have done to start with, huh? Well, sometimes you just figure it out the hard way. You think you might have an idea that's the easy way, but what you've got is the hard way. Okay, now that goes in there. Okay, memory's still in good. Okay, now let's get this off of here. Turn that heat maker light off again. Okay, I think I will start it up before I put the door on it because I want to make sure everything's in good shape. before I go starting it up. Make sure my pins are going to work in my VGA cable. This one only has one video, so you can't put it on the wrong one. Okay. And let's see. Not planning on playing any sound or anything, so I won't plug in any audio cable. I think what I remember, I think it was also, it didn't used to buzz or anything in the audio, and it had started doing that pretty badly. That's the other thing I think, that the power supply is probably going out. So I suppose I could plug a sound cable into it just to see about that, but I'll do it. I guess if I'm going to do it, I ought to do it. I won't forget. I'll plug it in right now. I can see it. Oops. Just having that tape on there makes that clip fold down and want to stay in the wrong place. I mean, stay to where it won't, you know, hold it. The cable's getting kind of weighted down by other cables, so let's try to get it loose. Yeah, okay, here we go. There we go. Well, no noise with it off anyway. Okay, now let me get my switch. Now, how do I want to do this part? Well, I'll leave it like this until I get ready to stand it up, so you can see what I'm talking about. Right now, it's not about the software, it's about the hardware. So if I can get it to stop over there on the right one, there. Ow! Yeah, I was talking about the other day about the static electricity in this room. Well, I just reached over to, I noticed that my KVN switch was being pushed back, so I reached over to pull it back forward where I want it and got shocked. Okay. When I touch this rack, I'll get shock the heck out of me very often. Okay, let's see. Now let's turn it on. Would be nice to look at the voltage. And well, I looked at the voltage on the other one. I can do that though. I could reboot it. Look at the voltage in the BIOS. There it goes. Oh, I could do it right now if I'd have been paying attention. I think I'll do it because I'll forget if I don't do it now. Now it's already on its way to booting up, so I'll just reboot it. I don't have, well, I can put this other camera over there. I mean, it's just looking at me and I'm not even there, so let's see. I think it's going to have to be a little further back. I'm going to put this other camera at the, it's gotten tight. It's also went to sleep. There. It's not zoomed in, but it is looking at the monitor. So. And I've even got power over here, so because my one I use for wireless mic. Oh well, maybe if I move it closer, it'll be. Yeah, there we go. That's where I thought I always wanted to set it to do that. Okay, it's not zoomed in real good, but it's on it, so that's good. If I decide to zoom in on it, I can. It's not a bad angle, but it's really way closer than I can get it, putting it behind me, you know. Now this video card on this thing just does that, I guess. It's gray with a few letters here and there, but it doesn't show the full. I don't know. I thought that was because there was something wrong, like with the power, you know, the power supply going out. It's doing it on this one too. But then once it boots up, it's fine. It's perfect. It's kind of rattly. Well, yeah, it's got that old IDE hard drive. Okay, I'm going to reboot it. Oh, you can't see. Let me go ahead and change my view. I'll change it to that camera that's going to the... Change it to camera 1. There we go. It's a bad angle, but it's not too awful bad. Let's see. There we go. You can probably see it better that way than, you know, when I put it behind me and zoom in. So I'm just going to leave it like that. Let's see if this is better. If I don't know. That kind of makes it seem further away, doesn't it? It makes it seem more skewed. I think it does, yeah. So I'm going to leave it like that. And keep my cup out of the way there. I'll leave it like that, and I'll reboot it and go look in the BIOS and see the voltages. I mean, well, it's good to know before you get started here. I'm going to do a long test run, so. Oh, my preview's still playing over there. I keep doing that for the last few days. I keep on forgetting and doing that. Don't know why. I think I'll close the browser since I've played it most of the time. I'll open it back up when I want to see it again. Uh-oh, did I lose? I think I lost my monitor, my control. Uh-oh. Yeah, when you're not logged in, that happens sometimes with some machines. Maybe if I just don't push the button all the way. Well, I always try to set mine to do 4-second. No, that shut it down. That one doesn't have the 4-second delay. Well, let's set that while we're in there. I like the 4-second delay because you can use it to wake it up. And what do we hit to get into BIOS on this one? F2. If I got it in time or not. Yeah, I did. Good. Now I'm going to open up my browser while that's finished loading there. That way I can see how on the laptop. That way I can see what kind of shape the you know, if I'm, you might with all that gray there, you may not be seeing a thing. I want you at least to get an idea of what I'm showing here. So let me get that up so I can see. I might have to go back and change the light settings on the camera. You know, I could do that from this machine over here. Well, that's not so bad, is it? Not so great, but not so bad. Okay. Well, I tried to pause it, did I? Okay. All right, now. N68C-GS FX P1.4. And what the processor is, AMD Athlon dual core. That's a 4050E 64-bit, 2100 megahertz. And the RAM 2048, 2 1 gig sticks. OC tweaker is set to auto. No, and I don't, haven't really learned all these, things, so I don't know. CPU frequency 200 megahertz, PCI frequency 100 megahertz, processor minimum. It says X10.5 2100 megahertz processor. Maximum voltage 1.2500 V, and the rest is like auto, but it's on auto. Configuration for the CPU: AM2 boost disabled. I don't know. Maybe I would want that on. I'm not going to do that now. Leave it all just like it was. Because the only thing I've changed is the power supply. And let's see. Well, let's look in here. Oh yeah, the delay. Audio, LAN is that's enabled. Primary graphics adapter PCI, but it doesn't have one. But that doesn't matter. That's the defaults on most BIOSes. ACPI auto. And storage configuration. Enable SATA is operation mode is IDE. I don't know. I don't remember. I remember seeing that. I guess maybe it was in here. But anyway, it's an IDE drive. That's on this thing. Yeah, there it is. IDE hard disk. It is a Western Digital 250 gigabytes. And PCI, just normal stuff. A lot of this I never have bothered to learn the details of what, you know, how it all is. You used to have to learn some of that I/O addressing stuff for Windows 3.1. USB controller enabled 2.0, legacy enabled, keyboard remote power on disabled, USB mouse power on disabled. Oh yeah, I don't want those on. Because usually it's something that you do want on, you know, because the older machines, I guess that's what threw me off. The older machines, now here's our temperature. The older machines didn't default to USB keyboard and mouse, and they keep turning themselves off and getting back on defaults. And, you know, just make sure you turn that on, or they won't work when you boot up. So you can't even log in or anything unless you're in the operating system, or you can't do anything in BIOS, like if you want to look through BIOS. Okay, so CPU temperature 98 degrees. Motherboard temperature 91. I'm looking Fahrenheit. I'm not going to read off the centigrade. That stuff is or centigrade or Celsius or whichever you're supposed to, whichever one they're using, because they don't mean anything to me. Fan speed 2083, just kind of sitting there. I saw it move a minute ago. Chassis fan speed 2960. Yeah, V-Core power fan speed not available. Power fan. I don't know which one that would be. So there is another fan readout that could be read. V-Core. So the 3.3. Oh, okay. This always throws me off. It's not the same format. V-Core plus 3.3 volts. Wait a minute. Yeah, it is. Okay, it says V-Core plus 3.3 volts, but it's 1.200 volts is what it's reading at. 5 volts is reading at 3.42 volts. 12 volts is reading at 12.566. Oh. V-Core, now I get it. V-Core is 1.2 volts, which I think is that the processor, or is that? There's these other things they call V-Core that are like beside the processor. I've read a bunch about that. But then again, why wouldn't they give you the processor voltage? So I guess V-Core is the processor voltage that it's running, you know, that's being given, or it's running. It's actually getting right now. What it's pulling, what the power supply is giving out to it, and that's what all this is. Yeah, okay. 3.3 is 3.42. So none of them are under at all. They're a little bit over. That's good. That means it's good and strong and powerful. It's not old and weak. Because I've looked at these for years, you know, on all the machines, and when the power supply is old and it starts getting weaker, and if they have swollen caps, you definitely usually notice a difference in the voltage. But the other power supply does not have under voltage. None of them were under. Matter of fact, I think all of them were like really close. Probably not. I don't think as high as these are, like over, because it's like that's almost a half a volt over on the. No, that's not a half a volt. That's 3.3 volts, and it's 3.42, so that's not that much. 5 volts is 5.064. That's really close. And then 12 volts, 5.56. Now that's a little more than half a volt over. And then target CPU temperature, 122, and it is 100 right now. Target fan speed, level 5. And I'm not going to bother with that stuff, you know, changing that. First boot device, the hard drive, and I'm starting to feel hungry. I can't believe that. Well, it's probably late enough. I should be. Probably supper time already. I got started too late on this. Okay, no, don't want any supervisor password. Now I'm going to say discard changes and exit because I didn't want to change anything. Okay. Why didn't it do it? There we go. I had to go off of the use the keyboard and get off OK and then back onto OK, then it did it. So I could have used my other mic, but like I like to do, but maybe I will. Well, I will when I get settled in here, because I'm going to get back up, and I'll let it boot up this time, and I'll put the door on it. Actually, I might as well put the door on it now. I don't know if I want to. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I'm going to switch. Well, I don't have to be. Oh, wait. What does that do? Oh, that changes what you see. Oh, well. Already done it now. I knew there was some reason why I didn't want to do that. I was all trying. I thought, well, you won't see what I'm doing, so I can change it. I want to do both. What I was thinking. And so I shouldn't have done that during the boot either. There's two reasons why I shouldn't do that. It's liable to make me lose my keyboard and mouse. I don't know what this machine does. It might lose it. It'll probably come back once it gets in all the way booted up into Fedora, though. But while that's booting up, I'm gonna go over here. Fans are good. It's got their little regular size fan in the case. Of course, with a little bitty case. That's all you can put in this case. Well, no, you could put one step bigger. And but they're doing good. They're quiet. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the door on it. This one I don't have to screw on. Yeah, okay. And then I can just stand it up right where it's sitting. Let's wait till it's finished booting. So I'm going to stand it up right where it's sitting. You don't want to yank any cables loose or anything. And we can log in. We'll log in and start up. I'll just leave the double view until I go back to my machine and switch. Oh wait, that's on my mom's username, and I want to go ahead. I got one on here too. I want to use mine. I keep looking up at my preview on my laptop and seeing the BIOS, and I'm like, oh, what's wrong? It's just because I paused the video there. I think I'm going to have to run in the other room and grab me a cookie. Well, I can just eat some nuts, I guess, in here. Kind of don't want them, though. I get all that salt on my fingers, and when I'm in the middle of all this, I can't wash them, you know. Drives me crazy. I see blood on my finger. Oh, no, what is that? It's another cut on that same finger that I got into the fan that I never saw. Don't remember seeing before. I don't know if it's a cut from that or if it's a dry place that cracked. I wonder my fingers were hurt. Everything I touched, both fingers was hurting. I haven't been doctoring that one because I didn't know it was there. See what happens when you can't see nothing? I really am noticing. There we go. I really am noticing a difference, a bad difference in my sight lately. It just seems like earlier today was in the daytime, but everything seemed too dark and I couldn't see. A while ago, you know. And these lights aren't as the light bulb. I'm using those LED bulbs, you know, that screw into regular light sockets, and they're not. For several years I was using those fluorescents that you screw into regular light sockets. They were brighter. I may have to go back to them. I thought it was just a matter of getting used to them, but right now I'm not. I got Team Viewer on here. Right now I'm not. Lately, especially this week or two, last couple of weeks really, when I've been making all these videos. I guess that's one thing. I'm not just, instead of just reading on the computer, I'm actually looking at real world objects, and everything seems too dim. Okay, let's see. Oops, I'm about to lose stuff. I'm having to reach under that tripod to get things. And knocking everything else off, trying to make sure I don't hit it. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I already have the main number written down, but the little password always changes every time you. Well, I don't think it changes every time you restart the app, but if you if you've rebooted the computer, then it does for sure. Okay, now, now when I go to my machine, I can log in. And one thing I do like, I didn't like TeamViewer at first. I kept hearing about it, and I thought, well, it's not open source, and even if it's open source, it's not completely open because they have it's limited functionality for the free version. It's like Windows freeware and or shareware, or whatever I guess you'd call it, either one, I guess. But it has everything I need, and it's a good app. It does work really well. So let's see. I just had an idea. You know, I had planned on using the machine and doing the surfing. That's the coolest old picture. That's like a real aircraft. Probably, I think it's a woman working in an aircraft factory, because that's where I worked, in the General Dynamics aircraft. You know, building F-16s back in the 80s. Anyway, this is during the war, and I'm sure it's World War II. And it's again, I got it in some archive picture, but I used to run well, the waves I ran weren't quite that big, but they were all over the place. But this is a bigger one than the ones I used to use. My first job was in a machine shop. Okay, what do I want? I want TeamViewer. Probably should have just, team, there we go. Sometimes they name them with one word, and sometimes it's two, and but I think that's the cutest thing ever. And those ladies, they worked, and and did all that, making all the bombs and the airplanes and everything else we needed, and did a great job. And then a bunch of them, when the men came back, all those soldiers needed jobs, so they said, "Okay, ladies, go home. The men will take care of it." But that's what I see in the historical films, anyway. But I imagine a lot of them were smart enough to know, hey, this is a lot nicer at home than it is here in the greasy old machine shop. Some of them, they stayed and worked their whole lives as machinists and stuff. I don't know how come some of them, how it was, different. So I guess depending on where you worked and how many men needed a job or something. But I mean, those soldiers needed, they needed a job. They needed to be. They couldn't keep. They obviously didn't have enough jobs for all the men and women to keep working in the factories. So, and I'm sure there was a lot of women who would rather go home and raise some kids, and especially the ones that had soldier husbands that were away and were finally back, But 6318. There we go. Well, I just told you the password. Well, it's going to change. Okay. Anyway, I like historical stuff, pictures a lot. So I'll save them I put them in my desktop backgrounds folder, and then I have this app. They're wallpapers that I installed. Actually, it's running in standalone mode. It used to install it, but it doesn't come in the repos anymore. And it changes my background every 3 minutes or something like that. Okay, so we're on Mom's machine now, and let's see, I forgot how you go. I guess that's how I do it, just in the GUI. So here we go. Go ahead and open up the browser and let it stay open. It hit me just now. I'm getting hungry, kind of needed a little break anyway, so maybe I will just go and eat my lunch, let this thing run, instead of, I was going to sit here and search to pass, because I need to do it, but also to pass the testing time. But really, can only 5 or 10 minutes of searching and I want to run it is all I could really. I mean, who wants to watch me search for stuff, right? I mean, I may find really interesting stuff, And a lot, you know, fun. I always think, well, everybody knows how to search, but you know, everybody doesn't. A lot of people don't have the haven't learned the you know the ins and outs shortcuts to find what you're looking for on Google. I use Google, but a lot of people haven't. So some people just they try to search and they can't find anything. You know, people always say they want people ask how to do things. You know, in Linux or whatever. Well, go Google it. And sometimes they'll answer back, I've been Googling for 2 days and I still ain't found what I'm looking for. You know, well, sometimes they don't know how, or sometimes they're just not quite lucky enough. Sometimes you got to have enough knowledge about a subject to know how to search for more information on that subject. That's something I've learned in life, period, all the way from, you know, I'm a lifelong learner. I've always loved learning. And back when, in the 70s and 80s, there wasn't any internet, you know, for us to get on, but there was libraries. And if I got stuck, I could usually figure out most everything to do with the car, but there's some things I'd get into. And I had a motor manual for Chevys from 1975 motor manual, and that thing was kind of hard to understand in some places, but I would always use that. And sometimes I would still get stuck, and something you don't know how to get it apart, or you might get it apart, but you won't ever get it back together, you know, working again. And I'd go down to the library and look it up in other books. And I would remember one time I needed copies because I couldn't remember it all, and so I asked the lady, and she said, "This is back before the copyright trolls were all over the world, you know." And she goes, "What is it you?" And she's thinking, she kind of looked at me, and she goes, "You just want those pages?" I go, "Yeah, just these right here." I don't. First she thought I was wanting to copy the whole book, and of course now they wouldn't let you do that. She goes, "Oh, okay." And so she helped me. Now, I didn't really know much about the copy machines. You know, those were expensive devices that you didn't get to use that much. And so she kind of helped me get set up, and I copied 3 or 4 pages and took them home, and it saved my day. You know, I got done what I needed to do. So I don't know why I was talking about that. All right, go to YouTube right quick. See if I can tell any difference whatsoever. Yeah, I want to see if I can tell right quick, you know, is there any difference? Like, does it run better? Is it noticeably right off the bat, you know? Is it because it was underpowered? You know, just because you got voltage, that's one thing you got to remember about power supplies. Just because you're putting out enough voltage doesn't necessarily mean they're putting out the full amperage that whatever your machine, your device needs. And that you could have the same voltage forever, but if it's not enough amps, then it can't, you know, it can't power the machine properly. Let's see if this, you know, over my mom's, it wouldn't play my live stream. Let's see if this one will. There it goes. I don't understand what it is about. Oh yeah, I'm on a remote desktop. Full screen's not going to be very good. I was going to say, I can hear the audio. Well, yeah, because I plugged in the audio cable. It's kind of acting funky. Oh, I'm watching my own live stream, yeah. I think it's getting in a feedback loop, actually. Yeah, it is, because I'm watching it, and then it's being recorded again. So you can't do that. It's being recorded again back through my OBS studio and sent back out there. So I got to quit that. I hit stop. It paused, but it hasn't. You see the feedback loop in the picture there? But I hit back on my... Oh, yeah, it doesn't work on remote desktop. You got to click the back button. There we go. All right. So let's go on something that's not. Let's go on my previous video. Yeah, that one... Oh, maybe it's going to be okay now. Yeah, okay. This is the one from yesterday. I won't make it full screen this time. It was starting like an hour from the end. When I was going to rename it and do all that stuff, and I thought, oh no. Yeah, I put a note down there. It only had 50 minutes and 38 seconds of 3 hours and 13 minutes, but now it's starting at the beginning. So good. I thought I was going to have to upload the backup. Now, did you see that YouTube was... It's starting to say YouTube is slowing down everything. So do you want to, you know, stop it or what? Now, I guess I'm talking over myself here. I don't know how loud I'll be in the recording or anything. It's not very loud in my speaker. I'll stop it because of that. I don't know what's happening. I don't think it plays. That's right. The audio is playing through my speakers because I have the machine plugged into my amps. But it's not playing back through remote desktop to OBS Studio, I don't think. I think you actually, you know, hearing this, I think you can turn the audio on and off. Actions. I know I saw that setting. I don't know. I know I saw that setting in some, I don't know if I can get that to, there it is. But that's like all about, you know, talking to people and everything. That's not the settings. Oh, there's some settings. Yeah, that's gonna, I'm afraid I'm gonna close my deal. Okay, so if I want to just let a video play, I'd need to unplug that sound so that it wouldn't drive me crazy. I'm actually very glad I had it on a while ago, so that, because I heard myself talking twice in the speaker. It wasn't up very loud, so I don't know if it picked up on the mic. But that's how I realized, oh, I got to quit. I'm getting a feedback loop, video, audio, and feedback loop through my. So, yeah, dumb old guy with playing with his glasses. Okay. Yeah, my search. I can't resist. Let's see. Before I go and eat, then I'll really do this. Actually, when I'm eating, I may relax and watch some kind of video for a while. But yeah, that one's not a quiet machine. It's not. I mean, it's not making any horrible noises like that old bad fan in that video card. But I wonder if I have anything in my bookmarks first. I need the ASRock model number too. I don't know if I have that on here. Tried to open up my bookmarks with the keyboard shortcut. I don't know if it's going to work in here. I think some of them do work, some of them don't. It may be that I think most all of my keyboard shortcuts work in VNC remote desktop. Not sure if they do in OBS Studio. Well, that just reminded me. I meant to do this as soon as I got all set in here. Let's go ahead and get off this mic. It'll sound better, and when I cough, I can turn away from it and all that stuff. Now, desktop? Yeah, desktop. Okay. Now, I don't know if my keyboard shortcuts are going to work. I want to reload my preview. I thought I did that a while ago, but I'm still on the camera, two camera mode over there on that. Now, I'm scared to click on bookmarks because if you have a lot of them, it will, I guess this one doesn't have a lot. It'll lock up the browser, even the whole machine sometimes. That's one really weird thing, but if you use the keyboard shortcuts, you'll be fine. Yeah, there's hardly anything in this. Okay, I'm all live and worldwide. I always want to say nationwide, that old ZZ Top song, but we're not just nationwide anymore. We're worldwide on the WWW. All right. Sort by name. There's so few. Okay, yeah, I don't have anything in here. This has not been imported or anything. Okay, so let's see. AMD 8300. That's the processor I was looking at. Let's see. ASRock. I don't know the model number. Oh, but I'm on my machine, so not a problem. I can find that. Let's see. Oh, that's the Seagate expansion drive. That'll take forever to search that whole thing.
I guess I didn't get the search started anyway. Okay. Well, let's just go to my documents. That's where I was thinking I was going to search anyway. I'll do my local instead of my backup drive. There we go. That'll search really fast then. Okay. I could open up my browser, I guess. If I'm gonna open up an HTML, it's gonna do that anyway. What am I? Oh, the ASRock motherboard. Yeah, I want the AS. Yeah, I see ASRock eMachines. That's about that machine, not the motherboard. Oh, there it is. That's what I want to know. I don't really even have to open it up. Oh, that's the installation guide. What about the manual? Supported memory, okay. Somewhere I should have a manual. Right above it. It may not have the full model number in there. A lot of times they don't have the right model number. But N68C-GS FX. Let's see. There they are. See if I can get that. Is this a GS or a GSC? I think it's a GS. Now what's a G? Oh, well, which one is mine? I think it's a GSC. Do I have any pictures of it? Oh wait, there's a picture that might tell me. Yeah, N68GS, N68C-GSF. Okay, that was the N68CS. Okay, so yeah, I want the first one. I had it right. Now, I'm just doing it on this machine because I wanted to give it something to do. There we go. Maybe I should do it on mine. It's getting made it bigger at least. Okay. Now we'll do this just to make it bigger and everything. Okay. There's exactly my question. Let's see. Okay. Will N68C-GS FX work with FX8300? Should you do it? Will it work? Yes. Should you do it? No. FX is dead platform, and that motherboard will not play nice with any of the FX series, really, because of the VRM. That's the thing I was talking about, voltage regulator modules. And the board doesn't have many. Okay. I recommend a i3 6100, so and so. Benchmarks. Okay, sorry, budget is very limited, so I have no choice. Why there isn't show in this page? No thanks, whatever you're popping up there. CPU that he is supported. That's not solved. Oh, there's more. Either would work or you invest money in the dead platform. PSU you can put in it is FX 4300. Why FX is bad. Problem is AMD cores are weak and not real cores. Just don't get FX CPUs as AMD doesn't use the socket anymore. This is what I hate about forums. It's all opinion. Yeah, that's bull crap right there too. I've seen lots of benchmarks. I've never seen anything like that. Okay. Now the FXs are not near as fast reportedly as the new one they got out. Yeah, but and they're not as fast as an i7, but an i3 dual core bull crap. I've got a quad core that I'm using right now, and it is not fast. i5 quad core, not even close to fast. And I built that AMD 6 core. It was fast. That was a powerful machine. And I don't think I even had I don't remember how much RAM I had in it. I might have had 4 gig in it. It was either 2 gig or 4 gig. I can't remember. This is just an argument about Intel versus AMD. It's got nothing to do with will it fit. Go to the bottom, maybe it'll say, this is why I haven't done this before very much, because I get sick of all this crap. Just arguing. People are just acting like they know someone. They're just talking opinion. Now that's true. This is probably the page that I go to all the time. Oh, what the heck are you doing to me now? Now I accidentally clicked on that ad. Oh yeah, this browser doesn't have an ad blocker. No wonder there's so much crap on here. Now that was what I wanted to open up. Well, okay, I got 2 things. I accidentally got that, and then instead of I held down Control and clicked on the link, but it didn't work. I guess I'm going to do my surfing on my machine, because this is bugging me. It's not working right. And my back button on my mouse is not working. But that is the support list. So they gave a link to the support list. Oh, that's right. The keyboard shortcuts aren't working. Not all of them. A few of them. There we go. I held down Control and clicked on that link, and it made the text smaller. Open in a new tab. I'll finish what I've got going. Oh, it did work, but somehow it did both at the same time. Okay. But yeah, it's kind of slow over the... So anyway, I was just going to show... Wait, this is not that list. This is like the overall specs. Well, anyway, I do remember from the... oh, wait. You got to click on the tab up there. But here's the spec. That's the specs for it. And anyway, that's the basic specs. I think this is the CPU support list right here, maybe. No? Oh, there it is. CPU support list right there. So, it does have FD4300, FD4150, FD4100. Those are all quad cores. And then it has, those are there's 2 8 cores in here, but when you look for them, if you can find them, they're really expensive. And I'm not sure one of them's like, I can't remember. But it'll support everything from dual core that I have in there. But it's just, there's only certain ones listed, though. I think what I have is an AM, I can't remember. I don't know if it's an AM2 or 2 plus, but look at, it's a long list, I mean, but the one I have, I'm running right now, that I've had in here ever since I got this old eMachines, it does run it fine, and like I said, I'm trying to figure out for once and for all, is it crashing once in a while, or, well, it had been crashing real often. So far it's fine. I mean, what it would do is start getting slower and slower and slower, and then crash, Well, usually it does get slower first. Sometimes it just crashes seemingly out of the blue lately. That's why I finally gave up on the machine. And like I said, I took apart that other power supply, the one that's eMachines power supply, and it had a bunch of swollen caps. So I figure it's dying. So that's why I'm doing all this and put this good 650 watt power supply in here and see if it runs good and doesn't crash. And that's why I'm trying to do this research on this machine itself instead of, give it something to do while it's running. I could just turn on something like a video and let it play without any audio or something, but I may do that while I'm eating. I don't want to just use up my bandwidth for nothing, though. I gotta figure out something for it to do that doesn't use up bandwidth. So anyway, all these are 6-core right here. These are Phenom 2s. AM3 Plus FXs, those are actually all quad cores. They're telling the truth. They're saying that, that's right there. But there is a couple in this right here that are 8 cores. And let's see. Let's get I got ASRock in there twice. Wasn't that good? Okay. AMD 83. Let's see. Sure, it still gave me probably the same results, but I'm going to bookmark all tabs. There. It's not a bad place to have this saved anyway, because this is the actual, machine that in question. But there's no answer there. I hate it whenever it says solved, and all that crap when you see the link and then wherever it went. There it is, solved. And Tom's Hardware is usually pretty good too, but I like, in general, it's usually you don't see just a bunch of scallywags arguing about crap. Nothing to back up what they're saying, just their opinion, except for 1 or 2 there. But okay, list of motherboards. See what this is. This is a game debate, and a lot of what I've seen before on some of the other ones I saw was all these ads are just killing me here. I guess it's giving it plenty to do. They're saying, well, for gaming, they're not saying they give you advice on, well, if you want to play games, this would be, there we go. There it is. Let's see if we can go to it. But it's an older motherboard now. See, you can't really find them anymore to buy them. But see, it's got an average user score for gaming 7.8. That's not bad. Of course, we're not going to be gaming anyway, so. Most of the time, you'll see that people like the motherboard, especially people who work on computers. That's really what it's aimed at, I think. Because you can buy that motherboard and it'll fit so many different machines. But let's see if I can find my new. Where's my new? Just now saved a new folder. I don't see it. Why not? That's weird. It's very unusual. I guess I'll just put it in other bookmarks for right now. That's really just kind of telling the specs of it. Well, I am tired of trying to surf. I'm going to get this search results here. it's acting a little really funky. You can see what's happening there. It's acting really funky. It's just not responding as it should. Let's leave that open till I'm sure I've got it in my browser. Also, I can look through all my bookmarks and everything, but I think I will do like I said. I'll spare you a long video on doing this, and I'll go get me something to eat. I'm really getting hungry anyway. I need to paste and search. Now I'm on my machine and it seems funky and slow. Have I got problems here? No, not really. Why is Gwenview running? Did I leave it running? Yep. Gwenview? I thought this was a... Oh, I forgot the search thing. Oh, it is running because I closed all that junk. Still don't need all that running. Forgot I left all that up and going there. It's losing, OBS is using a little bit more memory than usual right now, but now I think I will. Did I get my page to come up? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to close the. Where's the disconnect button on here? I guess it's just as well to just close it. Close. I guess that's it. Yeah. So I can go straight to the machine to shut it down when I get ready to shut it down. I'm going to let it run though, while I'm doing my thing here. Okay. Now there's that one. That was so much crap. I don't even want to see. I'm not going to put it in my bookmarks over here. List of motherboards. FX6300 overclocked on the GS N68C-GS FX. There you go. I may go to that later. I don't want to go to people's videos during mine. I might get something. YouTube has spanked me for it. Is that the one I went to? Let's see that one. I think maybe I didn't go to that one. And that's the ASRock page, probably the one. Let's see if that's. See if my ASRock is in the. Yep. Okay, so what are we talking about here? I think it's just kind of giving out specs again. Oh, I see. It's a score for it. It's kind of in the middle. So, I don't really know what. That's not the kind of thing. All I'm looking for is. Oh. Okay, motherboards that fit the FX8300. And this is, I think, the FX8300 is newer. Oh, this is the page I was on a while ago. Okay, they're saying on here that it actually will work. I was trying to go fast, so I wouldn't. Things are just coming in kind of slow period, I guess, because it's been my internet. I rebooted my modem earlier today. YouTube videos weren't loading. They kept caching. I was looking at my own to rename them and stuff, and I'd pause them and start them, pause them, and they kept caching. And finally, I rebooted my modem and my router, and then it seemed fine. But now I'm streaming and surfing, and maybe my internet's not working great today. Okay, it's what I like to call a transition one. It's cheap and can support better components and fit also newer boards. So if you, okay. Well, okay, so they're saying that it does work with the. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell what they're really saying there. The link that will fit. Motherboards that will fit the FX 8300 CPU socket AM3 Plus. But this is not any real detail on it, just kind of a list. Gives the spec. He says, he doesn't say. Then he just says, he thinks it's a good motherboard at a good price and somewhat. Oh, okay. Here we go. There's some. Was perfect. Used it originally with a dual core. Yeah, like I'm doing. Quad core DDR3. And then he says that 8 core would be better if you could find one, a good price. Then someone asks, it's kind of hard to find really good information, but I'm gonna have to go ahead and bookmark what I got. There. Yeah, that first one was just a bunch of arguments. Let's see. Okay, this is on ASRock forum. Let's see. According to the official, supports a maximum 4,395 watt. After doing some search, I've been claims from people state that they're running the same motherboard with the FX. Are we talking about this motherboard? Yeah. Let's make sure. Oops. N68C-GS. That says GS4 FX, not GS. That says GS4. Okay, so I don't know. It might not be the same board. Saying that they're running. Well, if you look through that list, you'll see that it does support. It advertises all over it that it supports 8 core. It's on the box. It's everywhere, and it's in the list. It's just certain 8 cores that's listed. 8300. Okay. Well, they keep saying 8300, and I never even seen an 8300 before. I saw 8350s and 8320s. I just saw this 8300 for the first time yesterday myself that I'd realized. Yeah, they're 95 watt, but not on the list. May work with the latest BIOS. Okay, well, I don't know. This person saying that they're the same processor, just more cores as quad core. But in the end, I don't know what he was really saying. Okay, the VRMs. Has three-phase VRM with no heatsink. Yes. Let's put an 8-core CPU. We can OC, no problem. Oh, they're being kind of smart about it. Okay, well, of course, like I said, I found all this information, and people were doing it, and they were showing pictures of it and saying it was working. They were putting heat sinks on there to find the VRM chips on the board, put heat sinks on them. And then but they're over. See, this is all about overclocking. I'm not going to overclock it. So they put heat sinks on their VRMs. That's what it was. I was trying to remember. And then they were fine. Now some people tried it without them, and their boards would overheat. You know, it would get hot. They were monitoring their temperatures, and it would get hot. And some of them even pushed them to the point that, you know, they had processing errors and stuff. Of course, that's what overclockers have always done. And used to, you had to really know what you were doing to do it. And AMDs were always the ones that were better, handle overclocking better. Ever since you know, when I started really learning about all this stuff in '98, about, you know, machines, about hardware and stuff, beginning to learn, just beginning back then. But anyway, so that's good information. I mean, it's sort of good. It goes along with stuff that I've NVIDIA. That was where I was looking at some stuff about Mom's mother video card. It was actually the folders I already had saved on it, and then I was putting some new stuff in there today earlier. Man, it's almost 11 o'clock. I think what I'm going to need to do is get my little supper and all that, go ahead and let it run like I said. But, you know, I was thinking I would come back tonight and finish up all this, but I think I'm going to eat supper and let that thing keep running. I think I'll figure out something to give it to do and let it keep running. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be working hard, but I would think that would give it a better chance of you know, crashing if it's going to. I guess I could let it run all night. I couldn't stand that. It might be cool enough tonight I could do that, but I could leave it on the table and then turn it the way I always do over here where my chair is, and then the sound would be, well, no, the back of it would be facing me. It would. I think it'd just keep me awake. Okay. That is on their side again. Here's another one. CPU upgrade. Oh, this is their. I'm going to put it in that folder. This is where I would go to look at the support list and all that stuff. Okay, and then let's see. It's definitely mentioned enough times, isn't it, about that? Okay, let's see. List of motherboards compatible with AMD FX 8300 processor. It's in that list. Okay, there's a GS and a GS4. So they were talking about the GS4. Now then. I'm getting a little more encouraged that it would work. I think I'm going to have to pore over this stuff to really figure out if I think I want to, you know, do it. I mean, if it didn't work, if it didn't run good and everything, then I can still get another new motherboard, you know. I just don't want to spend the $170 and then say, oh, now we got to spend another $70 or $8 or $80 or whatever for another motherboard, you know, and it just keeps climbing. Although that's still cheaper than buying another machine. I mean, you're not going to get any kind of machine. You're not going to get an 08 core for $400 or $500, you know. You're going to get a quad core. So, yeah, I'm going to stop there and just close my browser now. I'm going to stop there. What are my cameras doing now? Oh, one's on the screen and the other one's on the machine. Okay. And let's see. I want to leave that machine running. Go back to the desktop again. Let me think. If I log, what I'm thinking here is log into it again on TeamViewer and open something. I don't have any kind of well, there's really not any long-running CPU benchmark tools. What's that password? Where is it? I don't know what I did with it. That note is the wrong note. I don't know what I did with the... Oh, I think I have it in with in here. Yeah, there we go. 6318. Okay. Yeah. Oh, the browser's still running, but it wasn't running anything of any consequence. Okay. That old hard drive rattles every time it gets accessed. Browser. I could probably just open up Chrome and it would sit there. I opened up Chromium. Oh, that's Chromium. I opened up Chromium on my machine today, and it started using 1.3 gig of RAM, and it just about. And I already had Firefox open, and I had several other apps open, and it's. Let's open it up and see what it does. It brought my machine to a halt. I thought I was going to have to hard shut it down, but then I waited a little while. And then finally, I just finally got it came back enough that I could use the system monitor to kill it. And I think what it was is because I haven't opened it up in a long time, and it was syncing, you know, all the bookmarks and everything. This way the key ring keeps working bugs the heck out of me. I don't want it that way. I don't want to have to put the password in there. And I used to have no problem getting it set up the way I wanted it, and now I can't get it. I can't figure out how to get it. They've changed it. I don't know if they're not letting you or what. Oh, import bookmarks. No, that's what I don't want to do. Well, I could. Oh, the bookmarks bar? No, I don't want anything on the bookmarks bar. Actually, it's running just fine. I guess it doesn't have all those. I guess I never imported any bookmarks. Anyway, when I have so many bookmarks like I do, if you import them and sync them, or you know whatever, then it will. With a quad core with 4 gig of RAM, can't handle it. It's just crazy. Just trying to think. How do I? There we go. Yeah. Okay. Now that time the shortcut worked. I thought it was the same shortcut as Control Shift O, like the letter O, and it will open up your bookmark. Yeah, I don't have any. Not any at all. I just installed it and never did anything with it. That's what happened there. So it won't, you know, won't keep the machine working or anything. Why is it in caps lock? I had this problem before, didn't I? I don't have but one keyboard on it though. Caps lock. Now caps lock is on. It's supposed to be on my. It's still on. Now it's fine. That was weird. I turned caps lock on and it stayed on, and then I turned it off and now it's off. Okay. Okay, hardware lister. Let's go with hardware lister. Oh, gotta be root to do that. Because I think it has a hardware. I don't know if it does or not. We'll see. A hardware testing benchmarking tool in it. It might. I was thinking of what could I leave running. Of course, it's only going to run for a little while. I was hungry, now I'm starving. So yeah, I never did even eat a snack. So that's what I'm going to need to do is go on. And I don't need to show this. If it does it, it does it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I need to go eat. And I can leave it running. Well, I mean, I can close this window because I'm thinking I might want to reboot my machine. I don't know if I really need to or not. I'm going to close it because that team viewer is running on the machine. I can log into it anytime I want now. Okay, so I'm going to go and I guess I think I should be working. And I'm going to go get me some food. I started to, check my stream, but that'll take a long time. All right, so I'm going to go get me some food, and I won't come back tonight. It'll be tomorrow, and I'll show whatever I figured out about this machine. I would like to be able to just let it run all night, but I don't think I'll be able to stand that. It's pretty loud. Those little old fans are small, but they're loud. All right. Bye-bye.